So is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's start today's discussion. Today is week 8 discussion of this course, Computer Vision, and this course was originally taken by Professor Jayanta Mukhopadhyay, Professor Computer Science and Engineering Department, IIT Kharagpur. Myself, Ayan Paul. I am a PMRF research scholar from IIT Kharagpur, and my duties are I am generally a TA of this course, and by TA, my duties are I will discuss some of the questions that will be very much similar to your assignment, so that whenever you will solve your assignment it will be easier for you. Okay, but before that I always prefer to have a summary of this. Okay, someone is joining. Yeah, before that I always prefer to have a summary of this week. Okay, and then we will move to the question answer part. So let's start. Yeah, so today's discussion is regarding color. Okay, so what is color? Color of psychological property of a visual experience when we look at objects and light. Okay, so that is known as color. So remember, it is a psychological property and it is not a physical property of those of object or light. Okay, so color is a result of interaction between physical light in the environment and our visual system. Okay, so that is the definition. So again I am repeating, it is actually a psychological property. It is not a physical property of rather the light that is interacting with the object, but it is how we are perceiving. Okay, or how we are seeing how we are perceiving or how we are seeing the visual environment. Okay, so that is known as color. Okay, and this is very common, that this is a electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, so electromagnetic spectrum generally consists of 7 rays. Okay, so starting from gamma, then x-ray, then uv, and then comes our visible light. Okay, visible light, and then we have infrared, microwave, and then this radio waves, and infrared, microwave, and then we have this radio waves that can be segmented like FM radio wave or long radio waves. Okay, so this is how we classify the electromagnetic spectrum. The most important is this wavelength. Okay, that is from 400 to 700 nanometer. This is most important because this is the visible light. Okay, that we can perceive. Other visible spectrum or visible light that we can perceive, other rays that you can see, from starting from this gamma rays to all this radio waves, that we cannot perceive or see. And second most important is the uv and ir, because uv rays and ir rays are very much closer to our visible spectrum. Okay, so this is the most important thing, and this thing you should always remember. So starting this is the definition, that c, that is the speed of light, will be equal to lambda into nu. Okay, lambda is the wavelength and nu is the frequency. Okay, so lambda and nu are always inversely proportional to each other. So as we start from this first ray, that is the gamma ray, we have this maximum frequency but minimum wavelength, and as we move to the last ray, that is the radio waves, we have this longest wavelength and the smallest frequency. Okay, so this is what you have to remember, and please remember this spectrum, because it is always important. In many exam it comes like, what is the wavelength of our visible light, and etc. Okay, so this type of question always comes, so that is why this spectrum is very much important. And second thing is our visible light. Okay, visible light or visible spectrum, that is from this 400 to 700 nanometer. Okay, so visible spectrum starts from blue, okay, and ends with red. So blue is the shortest wavelength that we can see, and red is the longest wavelength that we can see. Okay, so this is the regarding the em waves or the electromagnetic wave spectrum. Okay, and then we have this concept called black body radiator. Okay, so black body radiation, what it called is, every hot object, okay, hot object emits a radiation, okay, that is inversely proportional to this lambda to the power 5. Okay, lambda to the power, okay, someone is joining. Yeah, lambda to the power 5. Lambda to the power 5 means lambda is nothing but the wavelength associated with it. Okay, so And second thing, why it is important, because this also gives the relationship of the spectral power that the object is radiating, that is inversely proportional to this lambda, okay, 1 by e to the power sc by k lambda t minus 1, okay. So it is inversely proportional to this temperature, so this leads to the notion of color temperature, okay. So each color will have temperature because each color will be associated with a wavelength, and this depends on this temperature, okay. So this is known as spectral power distribution of light leaving from a black body, okay. So this is a important thing, means this is an important thing related light. Regarding computer vision, it is not so important, but this concept you should always remember, just like your EMW, okay, or the electromagnetic wave spectrum, okay. And then this interaction of light and surfaces, okay. So how we can perceive the object? We can perceive the object by two things. One, by the intensity of the light that is interacting with the object, and second, the reflectance of the light from the object, okay. So both thing is important. One, the source of illumination is important, because that from the source of illumination the light will come and that light will fall on the object, and second, the reflectance of that object, the light reflected from that object, okay. So these two things are important. So one is illumination, so this is a source property, okay, and second is this reflectance is a object property, okay. So illumination into reflectance will give us the color signal, okay, that we will perceive, okay. So this is regarding, okay, someone is again joining. So this is regarding the you can say the very introductory concept of what is color, okay, and how we are perceiving it. If we continue it, so our eyes have two cells, okay. One is the two photoreceptor cell. One is known as rod cell and there is known as cone cell, okay. Now rod cell is important for intensity and cone cell is important for color, okay. So if I just show you this, so we have this two cells, rods and cones, okay. So rod cells, what I have told, rod cells is important for intensity. So rod cell, the function of rod cell is night vision, whereas the cone cell, it is important for color, okay, important, or you can say responsible for color. So cone cell, it gives color and sharp vision, okay. Sensitivity, if we say about sensitivity, then this rod cell helps us to see in dim light, whereas this cone cell helps us to see in this bright light. Color detection, rod cell does not, okay, someone is joining. So where I was, so color detection, rod cell does not give you any color detection, but whenever we are talking about cone cell generally detect three colors. One is short wavelength, medium wavelength, and large and long wavelength, and that is known as RGB, that I will show you. And location, it is located in the peripheral of retina, and cones, it is located in the central retina, okay. Number, we have more rod cell than actually cone cell, and we have like 120 million rod cell, whereas we have 6 million cone cell. Adaptation, rod cell has very short adaptations. That is why whenever in the night you just off your light, and you require some seconds to actually your eyes to adjust it, okay. But this cone cells has high or fast adaptation to this colors, okay. So these are some of the difference of rod cell and cone cell. So regarding this cone cell, because color is the topic and color is important, so cone cell also we can divide cone cell into three types, okay. So one, we have this short wavelength, then medium wavelength, and large wavelength. So whenever I have shown you the electromagnetic spectrum, this is the electromagnetic spectrum. So this electromagnetic spectrum consists of 7 color, okay. VIBGYOR, okay, VIBGYOR, okay, GYOR, okay, OR. These are the 7 colors, okay. That is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red, okay. So these are the 7 colors of our VIBGYOR, okay. That is the visible spectrum. Now in this VIBGYOR, 3 colors are most important. One is this blue, second one is this green, and third one is this red. Okay, so blue is known as shortest wavelength, because wavelength, whenever we are going from this side to this side, actually the wavelength is increasing. Okay, blue has the shortest wavelength, that is around 400, or rather we can say violet has the shortest wavelength, that is nearly 400 nanometer, whereas this red has this longest wavelength, that is around 700 nanometer. Okay, so these three are important. Okay, blue, green and red. Okay, so for blue, we, as the wavelength of blue is shortest, so that is why we call it shortest wavelength regarding our cone cell, because cone cell detects this three wavelength. Okay, so this S shortest wavelength, that means blue. Okay, medium wavelength, that means green, and longest wavelength, that means red. Okay, so that is how we perceive the color. Okay, so wavelength sensitivity for this blue, we have this around 420 nanometer, green around 534 nanometer, whereas for red 564 nanometer. Okay, and this is the spectral, you can say spectral wave. So you can easily see if we just draw the graph between power and wavelength. Okay, so you can see this S as the shortest wavelength, that is blue. Okay, and then we have this medium spectrum, and then we have this longest spectrum, medium spectrum consisting of green, and longest spectrum consisting of red. So that is why these three colors are important. That is why we always say that RGB. Okay, so RGB means R is the longest wavelength, green and blue. So that is why we always, whenever we refer color, generally we refer with RGB. Okay, red, green and blue, because our cone cell that detects three wavelength, and that is very similar to RG and B. So that is why RGB colors are most important. Okay, so this is regarding color perceptron. So only two things in this slide. One, we have this two photoreceptors cell. One is known as rod cell, and the one is cone cell. Rod cell, it is actually used responsible for intensity of the color. Cone cell, it is important for color of the pixels. Okay, so these are the two things, rods and cones. Rod cell, function is for night vision. Cone cell to see color and sharp vision. Okay, and sensitivity, rod cell, it is highly sensitive to dim light, whereas this cone cell, it has low sensitivity, and it has sensitivity to actually bright light. Okay, so these are some of the basic things that you should always remember. Now we have this concept called trichromacy. In color matching experiment, most people can match any given light with three primaries. The three primaries are basically that same thing that I have shown you, that is long wavelength, medium wavelength, or small wavelength, that is RG and B. Okay, so any color can be made with this three primaries. Okay, these three are also known as primaries, because these are the main primal color. So that is why it is known as primaries. So any color can be made with this three primaries. For the same light and same primaries, most people select the same weight, and it can be formed by a linear combination. For example, if I want this target color, I can make it with RGB. Okay, RG and B with some weight associated with it. Okay, so I can give W1 weight to R, W2 weight to G, and W3 weight to B, and by that I can get the color that I want. If this is the target color, by that I can give the color that one. It is a linear, you can say linear sum. So W1R plus W2G and W3B, by that we can get any color. Okay, so that is the thing. Exception, the color blindness. Okay, because those people cannot see the colors, that is why for them it is exception. But for most people, for same light and same primaries, most people select the same weight, that they will select the same weight, W1, W2 as well as W3. Okay, so this is the thing. This is the thing. And trichromatic theory, three numbers seem to sufficient for encoding color, that same thing, so I'm not explaining. So this is known as linear color space, that I have just included. That is any target color can be written as weighted sum of red, weighted sum of green, and weighted sum of this blue. Okay, so that is known as linear color space or color matching. Okay, so defined by choice of three primaries. Mostly we choose the RGB as the primaries. The coordination color are given by the weights of the primary used to match it. Matching function, so it is W1, W2 and W3 are nothing but these are some kind of weights that are essential for matching. So this is also known as matching function. So weight required to match the signal wavelength to the single wavelength light source. Okay, so this W1, W2 and W3, that the weights associated with the primaries, that is red, green and blue, that is also known as matching function. Okay, to get a target color. So this is regarding linear color spaces. Color matching, same thing. So this C1, C2 and C3, that we are associating with a single wavelength. Okay, because here you can see the statement for the same light. Okay, whenever we are talking about same light, so wavelength must be same, and the same primary, we have the same primary RG and B. Okay, so same light, so we are calling it for same light. And C1, C2 Cn is nothing but how we are matching it. Okay, so you can see in this direction C1, C2, C3 and associated with the same wavelength lambda 1. If we multiply it by our this new spectral signal, that is lambda 1, for example, this can be multiplied with this to get the E1. Okay, similarly C2 can be multiplied with this T2 and like this. Okay, so by that we can get the component color of component color like E1. So E1 can be calculated. This is the formula: E vector equals to C into T vector. Okay, C is nothing but this color matching function. Okay, this color matching function C1, C2, C3 is nothing but this weight. Okay, like we can also write it as W1, W2 and W3. Lambda 1, why we are talking about lambda 1? Because this is associated with a single wavelength. Okay, because we are associating it with the same light. Similarly, for the second wavelength lambda 2, we will have different W2. Okay, that is different W's or C's. Okay, that we can write as C1 lambda 2, C2 lambda 2, C3 lambda 2. Okay, and if we multiply this with nothing but your wavelength signal, that is T lambda, so we can get the component of the color. Okay, the component E1 and E2 described by the color of T. Okay, so this is the concept. And if apart from T, if we are multiplying with some signal S and each E1, E2, E3 are coming same, so we can say that T and S are nothing but the same signal. Okay, so that is known as this Grassmann's law. This again, it is not very important, but this you should always remember, that any target color can be achieved by this three primaries R, G and B for a same light. Okay, for not for different light source, but for a single light source, any target color can be achieved by this three primaries R, G, B with some weight associated with it. So this is what you should always remember. And then we have this two concepts. One is addition and second is subtraction of color. So we have these three primaries, that red, green and blue. So if we just add these colors, what color we can get? So that is known as addition of color. Similarly, yeah, so let's start with addition. So we have these three colors, right? Red, green and blue. So if we match all the three color, that is red, green and blue, the intersection, this part, we can get the white color. Okay, so if these if these three primaries are properly combined, so we will get a white color. Okay, if this red and green is combined, we can get the yellow color. Okay, similarly, if this green and blue is combined, we can get the cyan, and if this red and this blue is combined, we can get the magenta color. So by this is known as addition property. Okay, that is, if we add the three primaries, what color we can get. So again I am repeating, we have this three color R, G and B, red, green and blue. Red, green and blue. Okay, red, green and blue. Now if we match all the three color, red, green and blue, so you can see this intersection, this is nothing but we will get a white color. Similarly, if we match the red and green, so we will get yellow. Similarly, red and blue, we will get the magenta. And if we will match the green and blue color, we will get a color known as cyan. Okay, so this is known as addition property of color. Similarly, we have this subtraction property of color. Subtraction property of color, whenever we are talking about subtraction property, then the combination of this colors like red and green, so we have this yellow color, so we will take yellow as our main circle. Okay, similarly this red and blue we get magneta, so magneta as our main circle. Similarly cyan from green and blue, so cyan as our main circle. So for subtraction property our main circles are this yellow, magneta and cyan. Okay, then again if we match the yellow and magneta we will get red, this and this yellow and this cyan we will get the green. Similarly magneta and this cyan we will get the blue. And if we match all the three subtractive component of color, that is cyan, magneta and yellow, we will get the black color. Okay, so that is known as subtraction property of the colors. Okay, so this is important. This short question might come like if you will match red and blue, what color you can make. So that is magneta will be the answer. Just like that short question might come, so that is why this is one of the most important concept, that is addition and subtraction property of the colors. Okay, so is this clear to all of you, this addition and subtraction property? Clear, right? Yeah. Okay, now we have this different color model. So from here actually the main part of your theory start. Okay, so we have different color models. So first is the most important color model that we have just discussing again and again, that is RGB model. Okay, so RGB model, R means red, G means green and B means blue. Okay, so this is the additive color model. Okay, used in display, camera and monitor. So many places this RGB color is used, because anywhere if we talk about color, mainly we denote it by RGB. Okay, because our cone cell they generally see 3 wavelength, that is why mostly we go for this RGB model of color. Okay, so colors are found by adding 3 primary source, that is RGB, in varying intensity 0 to 255 if it is a 8-bit system. So mostly we use this 8-bit system, so 8-bit means 2 to the power 8. Okay, so 2 to the power 8 means 256, right? So 256 how we write in this computer language, we write from 0 to 255. Okay, so that is why each color intensity R will also be from 0 to 255, green will be from 0 to 255, blue will be from 0 to 255. And if we associate some weight with it, that is W1 into R, W2 into G and W3 into B, then we can get the target color. Okay, so this is known as RGB color matching. Okay, then this color cube, this is the color cube, 0 0 0 is black. Okay, so 0 0 0 this point is black, and 1 1 1 this point is white. Okay, 1 1 1 or 1 we do not write because we are writing it is in a 8-bit form, that is from 0 to 255, that is why 255 255 255 that is white. Okay, and formula associated with it, the color will be formed by this RGB. Okay, and conversion to normal form can be calculated. How it can be calculated? R will be from R by R plus G plus B, that you can get the normalized form. G equals to G by R plus G plus B and B by R plus G by plus B. Okay, so by this we can convert it into a normal form. Okay, so this is the thing. Now we have this second color model, that is CMY. CMY is also known as complement of this RGB model. Okay, so how it can be calculated? It can be calculated by this. Once we have this R, G and B, we can calculate CMY. C is given by 1 minus R. 1 or 255 if we are taking in normalized form, then 1 minus R. Otherwise we will be taking 255 minus R. M will be 1 minus G or 255 minus G. Y will be 1 minus B or 255 minus B. Okay, so that is how we can convert this RGB model into this CMY model, that is cyan, magneta and yellow. Cyan, magneta and yellow we have just seen, it is a subtractive color matching. It is generally used for printing. And it is derived from this RGB model only, and it is the complement of RGB model. Okay, so this is the thing, and then yeah, so this is the thing. So I hope RGB and CMY model is clear to all of you. Is it clear? Clear, right? Yeah, so question will definitely come from RGB and CMY. So very easy. RGB generally they ask about the normalized form. So if you are given RGB, you can be asked to convert into a normalized form. You can easily do. And then if you are given RGB, you can be asked to calculate the CMY. Okay, so it is very easy. It is 255 minus R, 255 minus G, and 255 minus B. By that you can get the CMY. Okay, so this is regarding RGB and CMY model. Now we have this CIE XYZ model. Okay, CIE, it is the International Commission of Illumination. Okay, they have given color in this three form XYZ. Okay, these are tri-stimulus values. These are called, and this can be calculated by this formula. Okay, so if you have this RGB and you have this matrix, so if you multiply this matrix with the RGB values, you can get the XYZ values. Okay, so that is known as CIE XYZ model. Okay, and here Y is important. Y represents illuminance, so Y is actually important in this. Okay, so this is the CIE XYZ model. If we just derive the CIE XYZ model, we can get something called a chromaticity model. Okay, same the XYZ just we have calculated, that we are visualizing in a 3D model, right? Because we have this three coordinate X, Y, and Z. But to put it in a 2D model, we have this chromaticity model. Okay, so chromaticity model purpose, it represents color independent of luminance or brightness, because Y is for luminance. So here what it does, it converts it into a 2D visualization model, and X, small x, can be given by this capital X by X plus Y plus Z. Similarly, small y can be given by this capital Y X plus Y plus Z. Okay, so once we convert all our this x y z into this x and y, we can plot it. Okay, we can plot it and we can get this chromaticity model chart. Okay, so this is the thing. This is the CIE chromaticity chart that I was telling. And important thing is white color. Okay, so we have this three colors. Okay, R, G, and B, that is red, green, and blue. Now what is the point, the matching? Okay, where the three color match. So where the three color will match, the intensity will be same. Okay, so it will be 1 by 3, 1 by 3, and 1 by 3. Okay, because the because this x, y as well as small z can be written, so x, y, small z is same. So that is why x, y, and z will be same. So x equals to y equals to z. So if we put x by x plus x plus x, so that will be 1 by 3. Similarly, y by y plus y, that is will be 1 by 3. So this white color, that is nothing but the white point, that is the combination of these three colors, that is red, green, and blue, that is formed by this point 1 by 3, 1 by 3 in your this xy visualization. Okay, the saturated color at the boundary stage, all the saturated color will be on the boundary space. Okay, and all these colors, rest colors, are known as spectral colors. Okay, so this is the thing. So we have this CIE chart hue. There are different things. So CIE chart hue, what it represent is all color on the straight line from this white point. If we go in any direction and all the colors on a straight line from white point to a boundary has the same spectral hue. Okay, so that is what it defines. Okay, so that is CIE chromaticity model defined, that if we draw a straight line from your white point to the boundary, all the points that lie on the straight line will have this same spectral hue. Okay, so another thing is this purity or this saturation. So purity or saturation, it defines how far shifted towards the spectral color. Okay, this is your if we take 2 points in this straight line, if we take 2 points, one is this A value and one is this B value. Okay, so the ratio A by B is important. Okay, so that represents how far we are shifting from this white point to the colored point. Okay, so that is important, ratio of A by B. Okay, the less is the ratio of A by B, more we are shifting towards the shifting towards the boundary. Okay, so that is known as charge saturation. Okay, and purity is one implies spectral color with maximum saturation. Okay, so if A equals to B, so what will happen is our color is the most pure. Okay, because A and B has the same B is nothing but how the distance from your white point to the boundary point. Okay, and A is somewhere in between. So if the ratio of A equals to B and ratio is 1, so we implies the spectral color with maximum saturation. Okay, so that it implies. So this is CIE charge saturation, and we have this color reproducibility. Color reproducibility is, this is the whole chart, right? This is the whole chart, but if we take the subset of this whole chart, so that is known as color gamut. Okay, so only a subset of the 3D CIE XYZ space called the 3D color gamut. So this triangle is a subset, right? This triangle is a subset of nothing but your whole color CIE chromaticity model. Okay, so this is known as color gamut. Okay, so this is the color reproducibility. And then we have this saturation, desaturation. So move radially to the gamut edge, that is known as saturation, that I have already explained. So saturation given a hue, because we generally move in a single hue, that is the single line. Okay, so that is why it has been written saturation given a hue. Move inward using center of gravity law of color mixing. That means as we move from the white point to the colored point, we are actually saturating the thing, and reverse, if we are moving from the boundary to the inner point, we are actually desaturating the thing. So that is known as saturation and desaturation operation. Okay, so again I am repeating, if we move from this white point to the boundary, that is known as saturation operation. If we move from boundary to the white point, that is desaturation operation. And desaturation operation can be calculated by using this CG law, okay, or center of gravity law. So we have this two things. One is the saturated color, that is color at the boundary, that is given by xs, ys, and capital Ys. Okay, and we have this white color, that is given by xw, yw, small yw, and capital Yw. And if we want to have a desaturated point, that is d, xd, yd, and capital Yd, that we can calculate by this formula. Okay, xd is given by this formula, small yd is given by this formula, and you can see here that this capital Yd is given by mod of yw plus ys. Okay, ys is already given, and mod of yw, how you can calculate? Yw is this, k into y average. Okay, capital Y average, how you can calculate? W plus ys divided by 2. Okay, so that is capital Y average, and you multiply with this k value and you get this yw. Okay, so by this you can perform this desaturation operation once you have this white point and this saturated point. Okay, so this is the theory regarding the chromaticity model. Okay, CIE chromaticity model. So any doubt in this? Any doubt in this?
So basically, what kind of problems are solved using this method?
Problems, I have not seen much problem, but this desaturation using CG law might come. Otherwise, the most important is this saturation concept. I will show you by an example, so that can come. So this saturation concept is actually important. Okay, that means how we are moving from this white point to the boundary point. Okay, so that is important. So that one example I will show you. Otherwise, desaturation law, there can be problems, but those problems don't come. And the most you can say most simple problem that will come, that is regarding to calculate the small x small y. Okay, so you will be given RGB value, from RGB you have to convert to capital X, capital Y, capital Z, and once you got the capital X, capital Y, capital Z, you can easily calculate the small x small y, or the chromaticity values. Okay, 2D chromaticity values. Okay.
No, no, I'm asking in general, not in exam, but that is also one of the question. That in practical, what kind
Practical,
of
yeah, it is used for saturation and desaturation operation. Okay, saturation and desaturation. So from a given color we can saturate and desaturate. Okay, once we got the saturate, we have to desaturate, so that is important. Okay, so I have given you a code so you can see regarding saturation and desaturation. So I have even given you a color marker. So if you just run that code, you have been given a color marker. You can just marker or the interactive button, you can just pull and you can just click the button here and here, and you will get different saturation images of the same image. Okay, so that you can see.
So
Okay,
is this something related to color detection? I mean, can I use this
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
color detection?
definitely color detection it can be used. If by saturation or desaturation you can pronounce the color. Okay, so definitely it can be used for color detection. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so this is the question. Consider the following transformation matrix of the color space from RGB to XYZ. Okay, so RGB to XYZ, given RGB values 180 and 200, computes its corresponding point in normalized XY. So it is very easy. First, we from RGB we will calculate XYZ, and once we got XYZ, we can easily calculate the small x and small y. Okay, so this is the thing. So we have this RGB values are already given, that is 100, 80 and 200. So we will just put here and we can get the XYZ. Just you do the simple matrix multiplication. So this is into this into this, and this into this. By this you can get the XYZ value. So this is the XYZ value coming from your this two values, this and this is given, and this is also given. So you can get the XY, capital X, capital Y, capital Z value. And once you get the capital X, capital Y, capital Z value, this is the small x and this is the small y value, and that you can calculate. So by that you can solve your problem exercise 1a. Okay, and regarding exercise 1b, given the coordinate in normalized form xy, chromaticity space of three primary colors as 2 by 3 1 by 3, that is the saturated point. Okay, 2 by 3 1 by 3 for this R, and 1 by 5 3 by 4 for this G, and 1 by 6 1 by 10 for this B. Okay, compute the corresponding maximally saturated color in the RGB space, preserving the same hue and intensity for the above point. So how we can calculate this? Move radially to the gamut H. Okay, this is the gamut H. So if you just move radially to the gamut H, we got the maximum saturation given a hue. Okay, so intersection of the point between line formed by an edge of the triangle and WQ. Okay, edge of the triangle and WQ. This is the edge of the triangle and this is the WQ. What is WQ? W is nothing but the white space that is given by nothing. I have told you, that is given by 1 by 3 and 1 by 3. Okay, 1 by 3 and 1 by 3, because white will have same intensity of xy as well as z. So that is why 1 by 3 1 by 3 1 by 3. As in this xy chromaticity, we only take this two coordinates, so that is why w will be given by 1 by 3 and 1 by 3. And what is this q? Q is nothing but the chromaticity value we have just calculated, okay, in the 1a problem. Okay, that is 0.02864 and 0.2134. Okay, so that is the WQ. If we intersect this WQ with the edges, okay, how we can calculate the edge? Edge we can calculate by what we have learned regarding simple line equation. How we can form the line equation? So this is R. Okay, this is R. This is R. This is B, and this is G. Okay, this is R, G, and B. Okay. Now it is very easy. RG can be calculated by the straight line equation. We have 2 points. This is the point of G and this is the point of R. So we can easily calculate the RG line. How we can calculate? We can calculate by simple that straight line equation, IJK. Okay, IJK and whatever are points. Okay, so k is nothing but 1 1, because scaling for scaling we will take 1 1, and ij is already given. Okay, so ij for red, if I say about red, so it will be 2 by 3 1 by 3. Okay, 2 by 3 and 1 by 3 1 by 3. Similarly, this g is nothing but 1 by 5 and 3 by 4. Okay, 3 by 4. So by that we can get the equation of the RG line. Okay, so by that we can get equation of the RG line. Similarly we can calculate equation of this GB line and RB line. Okay, so if we got all the equation of the line, next thing is we will intersect with this WQ line. W we already have, and Q is nothing but this point. Okay, that is 0.2864 and Q and 0.2134. Okay, so this is WQ. So we have to intersect this WQ with this thing, this WQ with this RG and GB and RB. By that we can get the maximum saturation given here. Okay. Now here you can see for whenever we are intersecting this BR with WQ, our answers are coming minus. Okay, Y is coming minus, but you can see the edges, no point here, all the point here are positive, so this is intersection is not possible. But BR into WQ, this intersection is possible, and we are getting this we are getting okay, sorry, BG into WQ, we are getting this negative, so this intersection is not possible. Similarly BR into WQ, again we are getting negative, so this intersection again it is a false intersection. But whenever we are dealing with BR cross WQ, we are getting positive answer. So this is our answer, that is this is our answer, that is maximally saturated color in the RGB space. Okay, that is given by this coordinate. Okay, so this is your answer. Okay, non-homogeneous, by this we will get in homogeneous coordinate, that is for 2 point we are getting 3 points, that is homogeneous coordinate. We always get 1 point extra in homogeneous coordinate, so that is why we are getting 1 extra point. You just this is nothing but scale, so you just divide by this to this and this, and you will get the non-homogeneous coordinate point, and this is your maximally saturated color in the RGB space, preserving the same hue and intensity of the point point Q. Okay, so this is the answer. So is it clear how we have solved this? That is most important.
This maximally saturated means what?
Maximally maximally saturated means this Q point and this WQ, how it is related to the edge. Okay, so that is maximally saturated, means saturation means we have to move from this white point to this edge. Okay, because edge, or at the edge all the points are saturated, so maximally saturated means we have to move this WQ, that is the we have to move intersect this WQ with all the edges. Okay, so by that we can calculate it.
Okay.
Okay. So is the process clear to all of you, how we have solved it? That is the most important thing. Clear, right? Because this type of question will definitely come. Any doubt regarding the process, because that is most important, how we have solved this? You got it, right? How we got WQ, how we got BG, how we got BR. Clear, right? Okay. So we have this concept called uniform color spaces. The color spaces that we are getting from X, Y, Z, that are not uniform. Why it is not uniform? Because difference in XY coordinate do not reflect perceptual color differences. Okay, so whenever we are talking about differences that we got in capital X and capital Y coordinate, that is not capital X capital Y or small x small y, we are not getting the perpetual color differences. Okay, so to deal with that, this x small x y can be converted to this u dash v dash. Okay, so u dash v dash, so that is known as CIE u dash v dash transform. Okay, so CIE u dash v dash is the projective transform of small x y to make the ellipse more uniform. Okay, and that can be calculated by this. Small x small y can be calculated by just capital X by x plus y plus z, and capital Y by x plus y plus z. But u dash v dash is calculated by this formula. Okay, that is 4x by x plus 15y plus 3z and 9y by x plus 15y plus 3z. Okay, so earlier you can see that this whenever we are talking about color differences, this ellipses are very close to each other, but after this you can see this ellipse has a significant difference. Okay, or this ellipses are more uniform, you can say. That is known as CIE U-V- transform. Okay, so this is a uniform ellipse, uniform color space. Another uniform color space is this CIE LAB model. Okay, CIE LAB model. It is used to represent color uniformly based on human perception. Okay, so this CIE LAB model, this is the L is for lightness, that is from 0 to black, 0 for black and 100 for white. Okay, and A is the green to red, green is negative and red is positive. B is from blue to yellow, B is negative and blue is negative and yellow is positive. Okay, so that can also be found from nothing but your XYZ values. Okay, so once we got the CIE XYZ value, we can calculate the uniform U-V- space as well as this LAB space. Okay, how it is calculated? It is calculated, L is calculated by this formula, A is calculated by this formula, and B is calculated by this formula. Okay, so you can easily calculate LAB once you get the CIE XYZ values. Okay, and this is function of y by yn. Y is nothing but a reference color that will be given to you. Okay, and this function of y by yn, this function will be either to the power 1 by 3 if t is greater than this. Otherwise, if t is lesser than this value, then you have to calculate the function by this way. Okay, that is 7.787 t plus 16 by 116. Okay, so this is regarding CIE LAB model. Okay, next model, these two models are nothing but uniform color spaces of our CIE XYZ model. Okay, so one is this CIE lab and another one is this uniform ellipses CIE U-V- model. Okay, next we have this YIQ model. Okay, YIQ model, it is used for have better compression property. It is used for all this JPG etc. images. So luminance Y is encoded more bits than chrominance value I and Q. Humans are more sensitive to Y than to I and Q. Okay, so that is why Y will have be given more bits. Okay, Y will be given more bits than I and Q. Okay, so that is the theory for this YIQ model. Y for luminance, IQ for chrominance. Okay, so Y has been given more bits and IQ, that chrominance, has been given less bits. Okay, so this is the YIQ model. How we can calculate? If we have this RGB values, nothing, we just multiply this RGB with this matrix and we can get the YIQ values. Next is YCbCr model. This is again has a better compression property used in image and video compression. Y is again for luminance, CbCr for this chromaticity part. So it is very correlated to this. It is not a linear transformation. Affine Cb and Cr translate to bring them within the range 0 to 240, assuming a range of RGB from 0 to 255. So here what happens is IQ has a smaller value, but then we have this CB and CR. CB and CR, what we do is adding 128 to this I and Q values. Okay, so what it does is generally it does is it makes the range from 0 to 240. Okay, rather than smaller values. Okay, so that is why this is added to it, 0 and 0 128 128. Okay, for this CB and CR. So this is YCbCr model. Next we have this opponent color spacing. It is complementary to your YCbCr model. It is known as YCb-Cr- model. Okay, and a theory proposed on perception or color by processing signal from cones and rod in an antagonistic manner. Okay, so overlapping spectral zone of three types of cone, L for long, M for medium, and S for short. The visual system considered to record differences between the responses of cone, rather each type of cone individual responses. Okay, so just forget the theory, you just remember this part. Okay, this is a complementary to opponent color spacing is processing is nothing but the complementary to your YCbCr model. It is known as YCb-Cr model. Okay, how it performs, same thing. If you know the YCbCr model, you just subtract 128 from your CB and CR thing. Okay, once you subtract 128 from your CbCr model, you get the YCb-Cr model. Okay, so that is YCb-Cr model, or your opponent color processing. And at last we have this non-linear color processing, that is the HSV model. HSV model takes the three values: one is hue, second is saturation, and third is value or intensity. Okay, hue, hue is defined by an angle from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, saturation, it is a distance from the vertical axis. Okay, and that is given from 0 to 1. Intensity, it is regarding height. Okay, that is given in the vertical axis from 0 to 1. Okay, so this is the three things. Okay, hue, saturation, and value. That is why HSV, hue, saturation, value. Okay, so again, how it can be calculated? First, you have to convert your RGB values into this normalized RGB values from 0 to 1. Once you convert into normalized RGB values, one is Cmax. Cmax is nothing but maximum of this R dash, G dash, and B dash. Whatever maximum, that you will be writing. C minimum, whatever minimum you got from R dash, G dash, and B dash, that you will be writing. And you have this delta, that is nothing but C max minus C minimum. Once you got this, you can calculate the hue by this formula. That is, if this delta is 0, that is 0 degree, hue will be 0 degree. Otherwise, your hue will be 60 degree into this, or 60 degree if C max is R dash. Okay, so you will focus with the C max. If it is R dash, then this is your hue. If it is G dash, then this formula is your hue. If it is B dash, then this formula is your hue. Then you have the saturation. Saturation is 0 if C max is 0. Otherwise, saturation is given by this formula, delta by C max. Okay, and then you have value. Value is nothing but your C max. Okay, so that is how you can calculate the hue, saturation, and value. Okay, and remember, all this C max, etc., that is in normalized form. Okay, R dash, G dash, and B dash, not RGB, but R dash, G dash, and B dash. Then only our value will be from 0 to 1. Otherwise, our value will be 0 to 255. But as the saturation and intensity value, it varies from 0 to 1. That is why we always convert this RGB to R dash, G dash, and B dash, and then do all this calculation regarding our HSV models. Okay, so this is regarding all the formulas related to all the color spaces, and then this is the comparison of the model. You can please read. I will give the slide on that folder. You can please read. Okay, the comparison of all the models I have given you. Okay, and then let's focus on some of the problems. So question number 1 for R100 G150.
Sir, I have some question on the
Yeah,
previous
please. Yeah.
the previous one where we have the comparison of all the models. The previous one.
Yes.
See, this additive and subtractive, it is understood, but this perpetual or uniform, what is the difference in these two and other?
Perceptual means you can read this. Perceptual is nothing but whenever we convert into the CIE XYZ model, you can CIE XYZ model. So perceptual is we give more value to this Y. Okay, because the matrix is such that Y represents luminance. Okay, we give more importance to this Y. Okay, so that is why this is known as perceptual type. Okay, nothing to explain. So this is the thing. Okay, RGB is additive, CMY is subtractive, and then we multiply this matrix. Okay, to this RGB, so we are giving more value to this Y. Okay, because Y represents luminance. Okay, so this is known as perceptual. Nothing more to explain. And then again, perceptual means, see, we can RGB cannot be plotted in a chart, but CIE chromaticity can be plotted in a chart. If we just get this x comma y value, small x comma small y value. Okay, we can do the 2D visualization. So for that also, this is known as perceptual. And then uniform, that is already explained. Uniform means You can see, yeah, uniform means, see, whenever we are talking about this CIE XYZ color space, those are not uniform, okay, because the ellipses that is formed, those are not uniform. But if we convert into this two space, that is CIE lab as well as uniform space, the ellipses are more uniform, so that is why uniform, okay. And last, what it is written, yeah, YIQ and YBCR, that is for Luma and Chroma, okay. Y is for Luma, and this IQ is for Chroma, okay. Same for CBCR, okay. And this HSV, that is again perceptual, again it is used for image editing, etc. So again, this is a non-linear space, so nothing to explain regarding perceptual. Why it is called perceptual, there is no explanation to it, but this is the thing, okay. So again, it might be because any of these values will give more power, more explanation to how we visualize the color, okay. So that is why it has been written perceptual, okay. And this components I have already explained, purpose you can see, and these are the formulas, okay. So this is the thing, so you can read more about it, why it is called perceptual, okay. But this is the bigger picture is that, okay. Additive, subtractive, and YIQ, YBCR for chroma, CIE XYZ, XYZ, that is for chromaticity, is for perceptual, because you can easily plot it into a chromaticity chart. And HSV, why I don't know why it is written as perceptual, you can basically search more about it, okay. So this is the thing, okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Now there are some numericals related to all your models. So RGB is given, so you are asked to calculate this R dash G dash B dash. It is very easy, just normalize, divide by 255. By that you can just normalize it, okay, and then by that you can get the R dash G dash and B dash, okay. Second question, you are given RGB, these values, and you are asked to calculate the CMY value. Very easy, that is 255 minus R, 255 minus G, 255 minus B, okay. By that you can get the CMY values. Again, very simple. Third question, to if you would have this R dash G dash B dash, how to calculate this capital X, capital Y, capital Z values, that is CIE XYZ values, okay. So how you can calculate, already matrix has been given, and this R dash G dash B dash is given, not given, but you have calculated from this question itself. So just put the R dash G dash B dash value and get the X, Y, Z values, okay. So same thing, just you do the matrix multiplication, this will be multiplied by this to get the X, this will be multiplied by this to get the Y, and this row will be multiplied by this row to get the Z, okay. So by that you can get the X, Y, Z values, okay. So this is regarding the RGB, CMY, and this CIE XYZ. Similarly, this is a question to calculate the CIE chromaticity coordinate, that is small x, small y. Again, very easy, small x is capital X by X plus Y plus Z, small y is capital Y by X plus Y plus Z. So already you have X plus Y plus Z. Yeah, here it has been written in this normalized form only, but even if you do not take it in normalized form, your answer will be same, because X by 255 and X, Y plus Z by 255. So 255 will cut off from numerator and denominator, so your answer will be same. So either you do by simple X, Y, Z, or you do by X dash plus Y dash plus Z dash. Your answer will come same, okay. So this is the this is regarding this CIE chromaticity, okay. And then you have this CIE lab question. CIE lab, it is very easy. Once you got the capital, once you got this XYZ, okay, XYZ values from your CIE XYZ model. So you can easily calculate this CIE lab values by this formula. These are the formulas. L is given by this, A is given by this, and B is given by this, okay. And also you are given the reference color, D65 reference color is given, that is XN is given by this, yn by this and zn by this. So xn you have value for xn already, yn already, and zn already. Okay, and you can you already got the xyz value from your previous question. Our xyz values are coming this. Okay, so you can easily put xyz by xn, yn, and zn. By this you can first calculate this inside the function values, and once you calculate inside the function values can be calculated by this formula. Okay, if your function values are coming greater than this, then your function will be t1 by 3. Okay, so as your values are coming greater than 0.008, all the values are coming greater than 0.008, so you can easily calculate the function values of this. Once you got the function values of this, just put in this formulas to get the LAV values. Okay, so by this you can get the CIE LAB values. Now next question, for this RGB you have to calculate this YIQ. Very easy, RGB is already given, so you can easily calculate this YIQ values. Okay, YIQ values can be calculated very easily. Second, you have this question regarding YCbCr model. Okay, so YCbCr model, the formulas are also given for this Y, this Cb, and this Cr, and RGB values are given 100, 150, and 200. Okay, 200. Okay, so by this you can get the Y, just put it and you get the Y. Cb you can calculate by this formula, you get the B, and you get the Y you will become computing by this formula. So you have this B, you have this Y, from this formula you can get the Cv. Similarly you can get the Cr. R you have given, R has been already given, Y you have just calculated. So by that you can again calculate the YCbCr values. Okay, so by this you can get the YCbCr values. And at last we have this question, that is exercise 10, that is regarding YCb-Cr values. Cb-Cr is nothing but Cb is given by Cb minus 128, Cr is nothing but Cr minus 128. So if you calculate the YCbCr values, next thing is very easy. You can, but here the matrix is also given, so better to calculate the Cb minus 128, Cr minus 128 values. And once you got that, this Cb minus 128 is nothing but Cb dash, Cr minus 128 is nothing but Cr dash. So you can get the Ycb dash Cr dash very easily. Okay, and RGB is also given, that is 100, 150, and 200. Okay, so these are questions regarding all your models. Okay, and we are left with this HSV. So HSV, RGB is given, and you have to calculate HSV. So how you have to calculate? First you need to normalize it. First you need to normalize all this R dash R GB to R dash G dash and B dash. Very easy, normalize, just divide it by 255 and you will get the normalized R dash G dash B dash, and then you get the C max. What is the maximum? Maximum is B dash. Okay, and what is the minimum? Minimum is this R dash. Okay, so you got the C max and C minimum, you calculate the delta value, and since your C max is nothing but B dash, this is the formula for calculating the H. Okay, once you calculate the H, there is saturation and value. Saturation is given by this delta by C max. Delta, you just have calculated this delta and you have this C max value. Okay, so delta by C max will give you the saturation value. Value is nothing but C max. So by this you can get the C max value. So by this you can easily calculate the HSV value if you are given the RGB values. Okay, so this is the regarding the HSV. There is another problem that has been quite asked. One is to calculate the H from this HSI saturation. So what is the formula? This formula always remember in mind. This is the saturation formula, that is 1 minus minimum R dash G dash B dash by I. Okay, I is nothing but I is the mean of this R dash G dash and B dash. Okay, so you can easily calculate this R dash. You have this R dash G dash and B dash. You can calculate this I, that is R dash G dash B dash by 3, and also you can calculate the minimum of R dash B dash C dash, that is nothing but this value. Okay, so once you have, you just put in this formula and you will get the answer. Okay, you can get the answer. The answer is coming S equals to 1 by 3, that is your saturation value if in this HSI saturation. Okay, so this is again asked, so just remember this formula. Okay, this formula is important. And yeah, and if I just simplify the formula, what you can do is minimum r dash, g dash and b dash, you can just write like minimum r by 255, g by 255 and b by 255, and this is the can be written by r plus g plus b by 3 into 255, and by that you can just cut off this 255 and you can just this only this part. Okay, minimum of r dash, g dash, b dash by I can be written in this form. Okay, so if you do not want to just calculate r dash, g dash and b dash, you can easily calculate this, and by this you can just put in this 1 minus this, and that will be giving your answer. Otherwise, if you have this r dash, g dash and b dash value, then you just calculate directly from this formula. This is nothing but kind of shortcut. Okay, this, so by this you can get the S value or the S value of this HSI saturation. Okay, so this is another problem. So are all the problems clear to all of you regarding all the models? Any doubt regarding anywhere? So generally you can be given any RGB value and you can be asked anything like YCbCr, YIQ, or CIE, or CIE small x small y, that is CIE Chromaticity, or HSB, anything. Okay, you can be just given a simple RGB and from that you can be asked anything. Okay, to calculate anything, YCbCr, YIQ, anything, HSB, anything. Okay, so can you do it now? If I have been if I give you any RGB value, can you calculate all the things? Any doubt in anywhere? All these questions? Any portion, HSB or any portion? You can please ask. LAB. No doubt, right? Any doubt you can please ask. Clear, right? Every model is clear, right? Am I audible? Okay, so I assume everything is clear. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic, that is color constancy. Okay, so color is found by this three spectral power. One is this spectral power distribution, then surface reflectance and spectral response of sensor. Okay, these three are important. Okay, so what is spectral power distribution? That is given by source. Okay, so whatever the source the light is coming, so from there this spectral power distribution distribution E lambda can be taken. Okay, and then we have this surface reflectance spectrum that that is decided by nothing but the object that the light is interacting, and last we have this S lambda, that is nothing but this spectral response of sensor, that is given by which sensor is receiving, for example which camera is capturing. Okay, so these are the three things that is important for, you can say, light property of a of any scene. Okay, so first is source is important, second is object on which the light is interacting, that is important, and third is the sensor which is receiving light after reflectance, that is also important. Okay, so these three factors are important. And the object present in the scene, spectral energy of light source, and spectral sensitivity of sensor, all the three things are important to form the image. Okay, this IX is nothing but image, and that can be formed by three things. So again I am repeating, one is this. Okay, that is the spectral energy of the light source. Okay, this is the first. Second is this. Okay, sorry, the second is this, that is the object present in the scene. Okay, and third is this. Okay, this is the spectral sensitivity of sensor. So three things. First is this spectral energy of light source, second is this object present in the scene, and third is spectral sensitivity of sensor. By this we can form the image. Now we have this different color correction, so deriving an illuminant independent representation, estimation of this estimation of SPD of light source, this E lambda, that is the spectral power distribution of this light source, that is can be given by RGB. So how we can do the color correction or the diagonal correction, that can be done by this formula. Okay, so how we operate it, we have two things. One is the source, RS is nothing but source, and RD is nothing but the destination. Okay, destination or the object. Okay, so by that we can get this value kr or small kr. Second, how we can get this kg value, kg is gd by gs. Gs is nothing but the source value of the green color, and d is nothing but destination value of the green color. Similarly, we have this kb, that is bd by bs. D is the destination value, bs is the source value. Okay, so this is nothing but, this is kind of scale. Okay, and then we calculate this f. Okay, how f is calculated, that is r plus g plus b, that rgb is nothing but from where you have to do the color correction, so that is the rgb of that point. Okay, and then you have this krr. Kr is nothing but this, and r is rgb, I have already told you. Kg we have just calculated, and kv we have just calculated. And from this we can after that we can get this corrected color. R dash is given by f into kr into r, g dash by this, and b dash by this. Okay, so this is again one of the important question we will discuss. And then white gray assumption of color constancy. Okay, so white and gray assumption, if you talk about this gray assumption is nothing but this average. Okay, r average, g average, and b average. And white world assumption, it is nothing but maximum. Okay, r max, g max, and b max. Again I will show you by a numerical example, there it will be more clear. Okay, and then we have this edge based color constancy. Okay, so edge based color constancy, this is the formula. Okay, formula would be given to you, and you would be asked to solve it. So let's tackle it with some numerical, it will be more easy to understand. So consider the color of the source illuminant is represented with this RGB vector 200, 240, and 180. Okay, so this is nothing but source RS, GS, and BS. Okay, and then we have this target color, that is RD, GD, and BD. Okay, and then we have this given color, that is RG and B. By this we have to get the R dash, G dash, and B dash. It's very easy. First we calculate the KR, KG, and KB. So how we calculate the KR, KG, KB? KR, KG, KB can be given by this RD by RS, RD by RS, RD by RS. So 240 by 200. Okay. Similarly, GD by GS is 240 by 240, and then 240 by 280 is KB. By this we can calculate the KR, KB, and KR, KG, and KB. Once we calculate the KR, KG, and KB, we have to calculate the F. Okay, so RGB is nothing but this 100, 150, and 200. So by that we can calculate the F. Once we got the KR, KG, and KB, and once we got the F, we have to just multiply the by this R, and we can get the R dash, G dash, and B dash. Okay, so R dash can be given by this, that is KR into KR is this KR into this F value, that is 0.8396 into this R. Okay, and this G dash is given by Kg into F into this G. Similarly, Kb into F into G into B. Okay, so by that we can get the R dash, G dash, and B dash values. Okay, so this is the thing. And regarding this okay, so is it clear? Is this question clear to all of you? Example 30.
No, I want to understand more about this thing, color constancy. What is, I mean, what is
Yeah,
the intuition behind this thing?
yeah, so color constancy means we have this three things. Okay, one is this source, okay, source color. Second, we have this distribution color, the object distribution color, and third we have this sensor color. Okay, we have to have some constancy in all these three things. Okay, so for that we have this different assumption. We have this diagonal correction assumption, then white gray assumption, then edge based color constancy. Okay, so this is the you can say this is the bigger picture of it. Okay, Theory, I don't have much time to discuss theory.
Sure.
Then I would have given more theory in the slides, but this is the basic thing. Okay, three things are important to have an image. One is the source light, second is the object on which the light is falling, and third we have a sensor. Okay, so these three things are important. So you can say to have a constancy in all these three things, to have a proper image, we have this different assumption. Okay, one is this diagonal correction assumption, white gray assumption, and edge based color constancy. Okay, so better if we just focus on the quotients. Okay, that is more important. This diagonal color correction, that is very important, that always comes. Okay, so that you always have to remember. Okay, what how we can solve this diagonal color correction question. Okay, so that is
Okay.
written. And then let me show you the other two question. These are not very important but can come, so better you should know how to solve it. So an image has this channel statistics, average values, R average, G average, and B average is given, and this channel maxima, R max, G max, and B max is given. Okay, so all this RGB etc., that is related to image. Okay, image or the color that is found by a sensor. Okay, so that is all this is the third thing. Okay, that is regarding the sensor or where image is formed. Okay, so this is the third thing. So which of the following gives the correct pair gray corrected pixel and white corrected pixel after rounding to the nearest integer? Okay, so just you have to you have to find out this gray corrected pixel and white corrected pixel. Okay, so how you can solve this gray world problem? So first you have to find this m is nothing but the average of this all this average values, the R average plus G average plus B average divided by 3, that is small m. And then you have all these channel averages for respective channel. Okay, for this red channel you have this value 120, green channel 100, and blue channel 80. Okay, so by this you can get the SR, SG, and SB. Okay, so SR, SG, and SB you can calculate by this. M you have already calculated, that is nothing but average of this three channel, and then you have this channel average. Okay, that is channel average, that is already given 120, 100, and 80. So by that you can get a scale factor. Okay, scale factor for all your SR, SG, and SB. Once you got the scale factor, you just do the 1 to white balance a sample. So you just multiply it by this RGB to get the R dash, G dash, and B dash value. So this is regarding gray world. In white world, how you do white world? White world, you just do the maximum of it. Okay, it is again m by ch average, or in this gray world it is small m by ch average. Here it is capital M by ch max. Ch max is already given for all the channel, but m how you can calculate? Capital M can be calculated by maximum of all the three maximums. Okay, so maximum of all the three maximum is nothing but this B max, that is 240. Okay, and once you have this capital M, you just do the find out the scale factor of all this, and once you got the scale factor, you multiply it by your pixel. Okay, to get the R dash, G dash, and B dash value. So this is regarding the white world problem. So this is the gray world problem, and this is the white world problem. And second, we have this Minkowski edge this problem, that is this edge based color constancy problem. So edge based color constancy formula is already given, and you are given a 1D sampled already smoothed color channel. Okay, that FC sigma x with this sample equal spacing delta x equals to 1 has been given. Okay, so f values are given. Okay, in this formula f values are given. You have to compute the Minkowski p norm with p equals to 2. Okay, that you have to compute. How you have to compute? First, if you know this DIF for each of this f value, and then delta x is already given, and then you have to just add it. Okay, just have to add it and perform this formula. Okay, so by this you can calculate it, but main thing is to calculate this value. Okay, that is DIF. Okay, so DIF or D1F can be calculated by this, D2F is calculated by this, D3F by this, d4f by this, d5f by this. Okay, once you calculate this, it is very simple. Delta x is already given, so by that you can calculate the this Minkowski or the edge based color constancy value. Again, this question is very rare, it don't come, but you should know, okay, how we calculate. So for this you just have to remember this step, how to calculate d1f and d5f. So actually there are three things, okay. One is this forward difference, second is this backward difference, and third is the central differences, okay. So each of the middle pixel, that is f2, f3 and f4, that will be taking the central differences. The f1 will take the forward difference and f5 will take the backward difference. So if you do this, so you can get the d1f, d2f, d3f, d4 and f and d5f. Once you got the all the df if, you have this delta x value, that is given 1, and you can calculate this Minkowski p norm, okay, Minkowski p norm. So this is a question related to your edge based color constancy. Again, this is very rare, it won't come, but again I have given, so in any rare case it come, you should know how to solve it. So that is why I have kept it. But this is the most important question regarding color constancy, that is diagonal color correction. This always comes, and again this white world and gray world is also important, okay. So this also you should know, and this is very rare, it won't come, but I have kept it, so in case it come, you can solve it by this method, okay. So by this I am just moving to the next topic, that is color transfer. So color transfer, it is very easy concept, that we have a source color and we have a target color. So what we do, we transfer the color from our target to our source to make our source a different color, okay. So this is how we do the color transfer. So you can see in the image, this is the source color and this is the target illumination. So what we want this target color to be in the source color. So this is after our target color is in the source color, this is the resultant color of our source, okay. So this is the color transfer. Again, some formulas are there, generally these formulas won't come, but in case it comes, you should know how to calculate this, okay. So how to calculate it, this RGB value of the you can say of your source color, and this is the RGB value of the source color, and by this you calculate the LMS values. Once you calculate the LMS values, what you have to do, you have to calculate the L alpha beta values, okay. L alpha beta values can be given by this, okay. In this LMS is given by you can say this is different LMS and this is different. This LMS written in bold color is nothing but log of L, log of M and log of S, okay. So by this you can calculate the L bold, M bold and S bold. Once you have this L bold, M bold and S bold, what you can do, you can calculate this LM, alpha M and beta M, okay. How you can calculate this LM, alpha M and beta M? From this L alpha beta, you first calculate this L star, alpha star and beta star by this formula, okay. So once you got the L star, alpha star and beta star, next thing is to get the L dash, alpha dash and beta dash, okay. Once you got the L dash, alpha dash and beta dash, you calculate the LM, alpha M and beta M. Once you got the LM, alpha and beta M, you can calculate this another, you can say this is L bold dash, M bold dash and S bold dash, okay. And once you have this L bold, S bold and S bold dash, you can calculate it back to this RGB color, okay. So this is your color after this color matching, okay. So this is how you can match the color. These all are formulas. Again, this is this big formula, generally it won't come, so it won't be coming in questions, but this is the theory how we convert this target illumination to this source illumination and get a resultant color image, okay. So this is the whole scenario. So is it clear how we convert the color space? Okay, nice. Then we have this last topic called color demosaicing. Okay, color demosaicing. Use of color filter array. So we have this CFA, color filter array, that will come again and again. So remember this term CFA, or the color filter array, in a single chip CCD camera. So generation of dense pixel map from sparse data by interpolation, hardware cost and computation time to be kept low. So what happens is, in a camera you should need three sensor, right? A red sensor for receiving all your red color, green sensor for receiving all your green color, and blue sensor for receiving all your blue color. That should be in theory. But what all this CCD camera company do is, it does not give all the three channels. Okay, in the sensor it does not give all the three channel, it give only one channel, and in the one channel it fragments all the division. Like 1 pixel it will give for G, 1 pixel for R, 1 pixel for B. Okay, so and this is known as Bayes camera. Similarly, codec is also have this representation. So this filter is known as CFA filter. So again I am repeating, in place of giving all the three channel sensor RGB, we have only one sensor for a CCD camera. Why we do it? Because to reduce the hardware cost and computation time. If we have all this RGB etc., so first we have this three different source, R different, G different, and not source but this sensor R different, R sensor different, G sensor and different B sensor. What will happen is, we are increasing the cost, that is one. And second is, to get the resultant image, what we have to do, resultant color of the image, will be our problem? We have to do more computation. So to deal with it, we always use the CFA or the color filter arrays. Okay, so we have generally we use this Bayes filter array. Okay, so this is the Bayes filter array, you can see. Here how we define a Bayes filter array: either we will have green or either we will have non-green pixel. Okay, so green pixel is actually twice than your red and blue pixel. Okay, more theory to it. A high correlation between red, green and blue channels very likely to have same texture and edge location. Okay, so in CFA luminance, green channel sampled at higher rate than your red and blue channel. So if you see in this image, so generally we defined it as green and non-green, because green will be dominant than your non-green. Non-green is nothing but red and blue. So you can see in this line we have this green and non-green. Non-green in the form of red. Okay, in this line you have this non-green and green. Non-green in the form of blue. Similarly, this line again same line as the same line or same row, and this row is again the same as the second row. Okay, so that is how we define the Bayes filter. Here the most important thing is non-green and green. So green, we are giving more importance to green. Why we are giving more importance to green? Because in CFA the green channel is sampled at a higher rate than the other two channel, that is red and blue. So CFA is for luminance. So we have this two things. One is for light intensity, that is luminance, and we have this chrominance. Okay, similarly you just recall this YIQ model or YCbCr model. There Y is for luminance and this CbCr or IQ is for chrominance. So here in this Bayes approximation, we have this green as luminance and the other two channel red and blue as chrominance. Okay, so this green is the green channel less likely to be aliased, and details are preserved better in green channel than this red and blue channel. So that is why we have more green channel than this red and this blue channel. So this is regarding the color filter array or the CFA array. Okay, so by this CFA array, now we have to do interpolation, because we do not have this green pixel, red pixel and blue pixel at all the position. So for that, to find that, what we have to do, we have to perform interpolation. So we have this three type of interpolation. One is this bilinear interpolation, that is given by this formula. So bilinear interpolation means the green will be given by, like you can see in this we do not have G8. Okay, in place of G8 we have this B8. Okay, so how we can calculate G8? G8 can be calculated by G3 plus G7 plus G1 plus not G1, G13 plus G9 divided by 4. Okay, by this you can get the G8. Why we are calculating G8? Because at this pixel G is not present, because due to this hardware reducing hardware cost and computation time, what we have done is we have omitted this G8. Okay, so to calculate G8 we have to interpolate the green pixel by this formula. Similarly, to interpolate the red and blue pixel according to our bilinear interpolation, you can get the R7 as R2 plus R12 divided by 2. Okay, similarly R8 can be calculated by this formula. Similarly, you can check for B7 and B12. Similarly, R13 and B19 you can check. Okay, so like B19 you have this G19, so B19 can be easily calculated B18 plus B20 divided by 2. Similarly, R13 where is G13? G13 is here. So from G13 you can calculate R13, R12 plus R14 divided by 2. Okay, so then R7 G7 you have, so G7 you can interpolate this R pixel, red pixel, around the G pixel, so R2 plus R12 divided by 2. Similarly B7 you can calculate it. Second thing is R8, so B8 you have, but R pixel is regarding the diagonal, so you have this here R pixel, here R pixel, here R pixel and here R pixel, so you can easily calculate R this is R2 plus R4 plus R12 plus R14 divided by 4. So that is bilinear interpolation. Second, we have averaging red and blue hue interpolation. Okay, so here also green pixel by same formula as your bilinear interpolation, but whenever you are calculating this blue or red, okay, so how this B7 is calculated. So B7 here cannot be calculated directly by B6 plus B8 by 2. That we cannot do in this averaging red blue interpolation. What we have to do? We have to average the average the blue with the green. How we can do the average the blue with the green? So we have B6 plus B8 by 2 that we can write, but instead of B6 and B8 by 2, we write it as G7 by 2, B6 by G6 plus B8 by G8. Okay. Similarly, you can calculate by for B13, B12, etc., etc. Okay. So that is the second interpolation, that is averaging red and blue interpolation. Okay. Similarly, you can calculate for this red pixel. Okay. And third, we have this third thing, that is this Laplacian Corrected Edge Correlated LCEC interpolation. So LCEC. So generally, this question is very common that might come. Interpolate green pixel. So how we interpolate green pixel and this LCEC? So green pixel is calculated by this formula. Okay, this formula or this formula. Okay, how we know which formula? We have to check whether delta H is lesser than delta V or delta H is greater than delta V. What is delta H? Delta H is given by this formula. So first you have to calculate delta H and delta V. Okay, delta H is nothing but horizontal. Okay, and delta V is nothing but vertical. Okay, vertical pixel. Okay, so delta H and delta V you have to calculate. You have to see which one is smaller. Okay, which one is smaller? By that you have to calculate this G5 based on this thing. Okay, so here as which one is smaller, for that you have to calculate, like here delta H is smaller, so your G5 will be calculated in this row. Okay, so let me erase it for your better visibility. Yeah, so this line. Okay, so how you can calculate it? G5 will be given by G4 plus G6 by 2 plus this B5 minus B5 minus B3 plus B5 minus B7 divided by 4. Similarly, if delta V is smaller, then you have to focus on this vertical line. And then there is our formula for this red and blue pixel, that is given by this questions generally don't come, but this is most important. Okay, so interpolate the green pixel with this LCEC. Okay, similarly to interpolate red and blue pixel you can see this. Okay, here we talk about this delta n and delta v. So here we talk about diagonal, okay. Here we are talking about this plus sign in this green pixel. Here we talk about this diagonal, this or this, okay. Either we do this or this, okay. Wherever which one is smaller, if delta n is smaller we will do this, delta p is smaller we will do this. So here we are talking about diagonal. This is actually this does not come much, but this question it always comes, okay. To interpolate the green pixel using LCEC interpolation, okay. So let's discuss a problem regarding this. Consider the following CFA whose first row corresponds to the red row R and the first column corresponds to the green, okay. Okay, consider the CFA whose first row corresponds to the red R row and first column of that row corresponds to the green pixel, okay. So what are the missing component of the central pixel? Compute them using bilinear and arbh technique. Bilinear is this interpolation, arbh means averaging red blue hue interpolation, okay. So this two technique you have to do to compute the this central pixel, okay. So let me show you the CFA. So CFA so corresponds to the first row red, okay. First row red and second row blue, okay. So first row red, so that is why green red, green red, green, and second row is this blue, so blue green, blue green, blue, and then the pattern will be repeated, okay. So this is the thing. So once you write all the pixel in form of all this the CFA filter, once you just form a CFA filter, you have to focus on the central pixel. What are the missing component of the central pixel? So central pixel is composed of green, okay. Someone is joining. Yeah, central pixel is composed of green. This central pixel is composed of green, right? So if we have green, so we are missing blue and red over here, okay. So we are missing red and blue over here, okay. So we have this two missing pixel. So our option A is solved. Now option B, compute them using bilinear interpolation. So bilinear interpolation, it is very easy. So if we are talking about red, that is for this red plus this red divided by 2, just so we will get the red pixel, okay. So 45 plus 48 divided by 2, we will get the red pixel according to our bilinear interpolation. And if we are talking about your this red and blue, right, blue pixel, so blue it is this way. So 25 plus 27 by 2, if we can get the blue pixel. So bilinear interpolation is very easy. But how to calculate the this arbh technique? So okay, so arbh, yeah, bilinear, I have already told you, it is very easy. Just focus on this and we are getting the answer. But how to calculate this thing, that is averaging red blue hue technique, okay. So averaging red blue hue technique, how you have to do? You have to do this step by step, okay. First for B pixel, for this blue pixel, you have to focus on this top neighbor, okay. Focus on this top neighbor, that is this pixel, and this pixel, how you can calculate this pixel, okay. That is okay. So here we are talking about this green pixel, so that is 37 60 35 37 60 35 35 and 45, okay. So how this is calculated? This blue pixel can be calculated. This blue pixel can be calculated by this green pixel, okay. So this is the diagonal, okay. So this blue pixel can be calculated by this. Similarly, this blue pixel can be calculated by this, okay. So we have calculated both this blue pixel. Similarly, we can calculate the red pixel, okay. So this red pixel can be also calculated by this green pixel, okay. So we will calculate this red pixel and this red pixel. So once we got all these four values, what we will do, the missing blue will be found by this 45 into 25 by 44.25, that is the top neighbor, plus 27, that is this 27 into 46.25 divided by 2. So by this you can get the blue, missing blue and missing red, you can calculate by the same way. 45 into 45 into this 45 into 37.5, that is this plus 48, this 48 into this 53.75 divided by 2. Okay, so by this you can get the missing red value. Okay, or you can put directly this formula. Better you can just put directly this formula. Where is the formula? Here. Better you can just put directly this formula. Once you know this formula, you can directly put this formula to get the missing blue or red pixel. Okay, so that also you can do. So this is the theory. So is this thing clear to all of you? Is this problem clear to all of you? Clear, right? So let's move on to the question answer part. So topic on which the week 8 assignment questions are based. So this all these topics on which the assignment question is based, and then this is the first question. This is regarding first and second question. So consider the P in RGB space. Based on the given data, solve the following question 1 and 2. Okay. So first question, what is the corresponding value of P in CMY space? It is very easy. How we can find P in pixel P in CMY space? It is 255 minus R, 255 minus G, 255 minus B. So that it is very easy. We know the RGB from this. We already know the RGB, and we can easily find the CMY. That is C. It is 255 minus R, M 255 minus G, and Y 255 minus B. So by that we can calculate the CMY values. Okay. So CMY value is coming 155, 105 and 165. So option A is your correct answer. So is it clear? We have this RGB. From RGB we have to calculate CMY. CMY, it is very easy. 255 minus R, 255 minus G, 255 minus B. By that we can calculate the CMY. Okay. So this is the first question. Second question, CIE Chromaticity model define three standard primary X, Y and Z that can be added to form the all visible colors. Okay, compute the corresponding point pixel P in normalized XY chromaticity space. Consider the transformation matrix as this. Okay, 0.49, 0.31, 0.20, 0.18, 0.81, 0.02, 0, 0.1 and 0.99. So this we have to multiply with RGB, and we can get the XYZ values. Okay, once we got the XYZ value, small x is very easy. Small x is nothing but capital X by X plus Y plus Z. Small y is nothing but capital X by capital Y by capital X plus Y plus Z. Okay, so first our target is to calculate this. Okay, we have this RGB, and just we can multiply it by this with this matrix to get the XYZ value. And once we get the XYZ value, it is very easy to get the small x value and small y value. Okay, so this is regarding the XYZ chromaticity question. Okay, so this is the second question. So is it clear to all of you? Clear, right? Any question, any doubt regarding this? CMY space or CIE XYZ space, if you are given RGB? Okay, no problem. Now question number 3, which of the following statements are correct? Color captured in RGB color spaces not suitable for direct interpretation of color component. CIE chromaticity chart represents a color in 2D space according to tri-stimulus model. In digital camera, color images are mostly captured using CFA. Luminance Y is encoded using less bits than chrominance value I and Q. Okay, so any guesses for this? Any guess for this question? so this is false, right? Luminance Y is encoded using more bits, okay, because that is what we know in our YIQ model, okay. Luminance is most important, and then chrominance I and Q is less important. That is why Y is encoded with more bits and I and Q is encoded with less bits, and this is also correct. That is, in digital camera, color images are mostly captured using CFA. So this is correct. CIE chromaticity represents the color in 2D space according to a tri-stimulus model, that is CIE XYZ model, that is M into the RGB that we have just done in the previous question. So option B is also correct. Option A, I have doubt, color captured in RGB color spaces is not suitable for direct interpretation of color component. That is false according to me, okay. So no, option A is also correct. Okay, so option A, color captured in RGB color spaces not suitable for direct interpretation of color. RGB is device independent, not not perceptually uniform. Okay, the color component don't directly corresponding to human perception, hue or brightness. Okay, so that is why this is correct. Okay, so this is correct. This is false, that you know, because luminance Y is encoded using more bits than your chrominance value I and Q. So this is false, that I have already told you. B and C are already correct, and option A is true because RGB is device dependent, not perceptually uniform. The color component don't directly correspond to human perception of hue, saturation or brightness. So that is why A, B and C are the correct option. Okay. To get the hue, saturation and brightness, either we convert it into HSV space or this YIQ model. Okay, YIQ, YCbCr model. Okay, so this is the thing. So is it clear to all of you? So let me move to the next question. Consider that the color of a source illuminant is represented by RGB vector. This, okay, this is source. Okay, so that is RS, GS and BS. Okay, whereas target RD, GD and VD is given by this. Okay, 50, 150 and 100. Given a color vector, this is RGB in the source image. Compute the color corrected vector using the diagonal correction rules. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to compute this color corrected vector, that is R dash, G dash and B dash from this RGB. Okay, so R dash, G dash and B dash can be calculated as R into F into KR. Similarly, G is similarly G and G dash and B dash, that is G into KG into F, and B is B into KB into F. Okay. So by that we can calculate the R dash, G dash and B dash. Okay. So first for that we have to calculate what is KR, KG, KB and what is F. Okay. So that is our target. So how we calculate KR? KR is calculated by this RD by RS, KG by GD, GS, KB by BD and BS. Okay. By this we calculate the KR, KG and KF. Then our next target is to calculate the F, compute the F. So F value is computed by this formula, R plus G plus B and divided by KRR, KGG and KBB. Once we have this, the rest thing is very easy, that is RU, or you can say R dash is given by this, G dash is given by this and B dash is given by this formula. Okay. So 75, 150 and 75. Option B is your correct answer. Okay. So this is the thing. So is the question clear to all of you? Clear, right? Interpolate G5 using Laplacian corrected edge correlation, interpolation using given Bayes pattern. Okay, so this Bayes pattern is given and we have to calculate G5. Okay, so G5 is nothing but missing this position. Okay, B5 is given, G5 is not given, and we have to calculate G5 using Laplacian corrected edge correlation. So for that, what we do, our first target is to calculate delta H and second is to calculate delta V. Then what we will see whether delta H is smaller than delta V or delta V is smaller than delta H. Once we got the smaller one, we will interpolate in that vertical direction or horizontal direction according to the smaller one. Okay. So first target is to compute delta H and delta V. So delta H is calculated by this formula and delta V by this formula, and all other things are given according to this Bayes pattern. Okay, so by this we will calculate delta H. Delta H is coming 92, delta V is coming 140, and we have seen that delta H is lesser than delta V. So now we will interpolate in horizontal direction because delta H is coming lesser than delta V. So interpolating in horizontal direction, this is the formula. G5 is given by G4 plus G6 by 2 plus B5 minus B3 plus B5 minus B7 divided by 4. Okay, by this we can calculate the G5, and G5 is coming 103. So 103 is the answer. Okay, so is it clear how we have done it? First we have to calculate delta H and delta V according to the smallest. If delta H is coming lesser than delta V, we will interpolate in horizontal direction, otherwise we will interpolate in vertical direction. Here delta H is coming lesser than delta V, so we will interpolate in horizontal direction, and interpolation, that is the interpolation formula for our LCEC interpolation. Okay, so by this we can solve the question. So is it clear to all of you? Clear, right? Question number 6, given the coordinates in the normalized XY chromaticity space, three primary colors are given, that is the saturated value. Okay, the pixels that are found on the XY value, that is found on the vertices of the gamut. Okay, that is given by 2 by 3, 1 by 3, that is R, and this is G, and this is B. Okay, so this is RGB is given. Then compute the this is all saturation. Okay, you can say RS, GS and BS. Okay, compute the corresponding maximally saturated color XY chromaticity space preserving same hue and intensity for the given point 0.31, 0.27. So this is nothing but this is your Q point. Okay, and what is this W point? W point is nothing but 1 by 3, 1 by 3, right? 1 by 3, 1 by 3. So 1 by 3, 1 by 3, either you can write 1 by 3, 1 by 3, or you can write 0.33, 0.33. So let me write it as 1 by 3, 1 by 3. So we have this Q point, we have this W point, and we have this RGB point. Okay, so what we will do, we will form this RG, RB and BG. Okay, first will form this lines, and then we will form this line WQ. Okay, so W is this and Q is this. So once we will intersect all the points, and the answer, we will choose the answer accordingly. Okay, so R is this, G is this, B is this, W is this, and Q is this. So RGB will form first, that is BG, BR and GR we will form first. Okay, BG, BR and GR we will form first, and then what we will do, we will do BG cross WQ, GR cross WQ, and BR cross WQ. Okay, the point where it is coming negative, that won't be possible because in our chromaticity chart negative value won't be possible, so that is why this is not possible. But your maximally saturated will be this. Okay, this all are negative, so you will divide it by a negative scale, so these things will come positive. Okay, so that is 0.208, 0.286. Okay, so option D is correct. And similarly BR cross Q, and that is coming 0.189 and 0.018. Okay, so option D is also, C is also correct. So C as well as D are the correct answers. Okay, so these are the corresponding maximally saturated color in XYZ chromaticity space preserving the same hue and intensity. Okay, so this is for green, and this is for GR, and this is for BR. Okay, so that is coming C and D are the correct answers. So is it clear to all of you? This we have also discussed in that example problem, same problem. Here only the difference is here Q is already given, there Q was not given. There first RGB was given, so from RGB we have to calculate, I think, XYZ. From XYZ we have to calculate small x and small y, so that was our Q there. Here Q is directly given, so the question is more simpler than our exercise problem. Okay, so this is the question number 6. Now regarding the question number 7 and 8, for the question number 7 and 8, this is our Bayes pattern and this is our corresponding CFA values. Okay, and we have been asked, using interpolation by averaging red and blue hues, compute G8. Okay, that is our first question. So compute G8. What is G8? G8 is present nowhere, but we have B8. So from B8 we have to interpolate G8. G8, how we can interpolate? We have this G3, G7, G9 and G3, G7, G13 and G9. Okay, so if we just add up all this 4 pixel and divide it by 4, we can get the G8. Okay, so we will interpolate G8 by B8. Okay, so that is what has been written in index 8, the CFA. There is blue B8 that is has been given. To estimate the missing green pixel, we will see the orthogonal green neighbors related to it, that is G13, G3, G13, G7 and G9, and we will add up and divide by 4 and we will get the G8 value. Okay, so this is the G8 value, that is coming 59.5. Okay, so is this clear what I have told? Is important? Is it clear what I have told, or should I repeat this? Okay, so let me again repeat this. It is important and sometimes confusing also. So we have to compute G8 by the averaging red blue hues. Okay, so G8, whenever we are interpolating green pixels, so we do not need to do expensive formula. We will only see the diagonal. Okay, so G8 is not present, but we are present with B8. Okay, and around B8 we have this 4 green channels. Okay, so if we interpolate this, or if we just interpolate this B8 to G8 by this 4 orthogonal green channel associated with it, we can get the G8. So how we can get the G8? We have this B8, so in place of B8 we can write G8 as G3 plus G7 plus G13 plus G9 divided by 4, and we can get the answer, that is coming 59.5. Okay, so this is our correct answer. Now let's move on to the next thing, that is to compute B12 by red and blue hues. So this is more interesting because this is more complex, averaging red and blue for this red and blue pixel. Okay, so that is more complex. So we have to calculate B12. Okay, so let's see what is B12. Okay, so B12, for this B12, do we have G12? If we had if we had this G12, that the thing will be easy, but we do not have G12. We have this R12. Okay, so R12, from R12 we have to interpolate to B12. Okay, from R12 we have to interpolate to B12. How we can do it? We can do it by this formula. Okay, B12 is given by this: G12 by 4, B6 by G6, B8 by G8, B16 by G16, B18 by G18. Okay, that you have to do. So G12 is already given or not? G12 is also not given over here. Okay, so R12 is given. Okay, so let's see how we get. So G12 we can get the interpolation, that is the orthogonal interpolation. So by this we can get the G12. And then how we can get the G6? G6 can be calculated by this. So let me see, where is G6? Yeah, G6 can be interpolated by B6. Okay, because we do not have G6. But the point to notice, we do not have this orthogonal values here. We only have G1 and G11 for this. So easy, it will be G1 plus G11 divided by 2 for this G6. Okay, so by this we can get the G6. Similarly, let's see if we can calculate this G8. So G8 I think we already have calculated. G8 also we have. Now regarding G16 also you will see regarding G16. So let's say 16 and yeah, B16 is given, but again we do not find the orthogonal points, so that is why we will just interpolate with this two values, G11 plus G21 divided by 2. And next is I think 18, right? G18, yeah, G18 we will interpolate with B18, and again as B18 is in middle, so we can easily do the orthogonal interpolation. So G18 we can easily find out. So once we have G6, G8, G12 sorry, G16 and G18, and also we have this G12. We can easily calculate this B12 because B6 is given. B6 is given, and B6, B8, B16 and B18 is given. Okay, that you can check. B6, B8, B16 and B18 is given. Okay, this 4 are given. So this 4 are given, and others we have just calculated in, and we will just put it into this formula, and we will get the answer. And our answer is coming approx 82.869 is coming. So approx it is coming 83. Okay, so this is how we will solve it. So is it clear? A direct formula you can solve it. Is it clear? Clear, right? Which of the following statements are true? Image reconstruction using color demosaicing lead to sharp edges in the image. Green channel is less likely to be aliased. In CFA, green channels are sampled at higher rate than blue channel. High correlation between red, green and blue channel are very likely to have a similar texture and edge location. Okay. So any guesses for this? Okay, so let me show you. So let's start with this. Green channel is less likely to be aliased. This is very true because that is why green channel is more present than red and blue. That is why we called Bayes approximation as Bayes CFA as green and non-green. Okay, G and NG. Okay, so green is more dominant. Why? Because green channel is less likely to be aliased. Second thing is in CFA, green channel is sampled at higher rate than red and blue channel. So you can see that there are approximately twice more green channel than your red and blue channel. And then high correlation between red, green and blue channel are very likely to have a similar texture, edge and location. That is why we can do the approximation or the interpolation. Okay, so option B, C and D are right. But regarding option A, it is false because demosaicing usually introduces blurring artifact, because whenever we are doing the interpolation, so we are actually averaging it. Okay, so you have seen in either bilinear interpolation or arbh, we are not doing nothing but we are kind of averaging it. So whenever we are averaging some pixel, we are actually making the pixel blur. Okay, so demosaicing usually introduces blurring or artifacts around the edges. Okay, so spatial edge directed method are to try to preserve edges, but by default mosaicing does not inherently create sharper edges. Okay, so that is why it is false, because it has been given demosaicing lead to sharp edges. It is not true. Demosaicing usually lead to blur edges. Okay, so that is why option A is false. Option B, C and D are true. Okay, so option B, C and D are your correct answer. So is it clear to all of you? Is it clear? Okay, nice. Now this is the last question. Given the Bayes pattern, this is the Bayes pattern corresponding CFA. We have to interpolate R17 using bilinear interpolation. Okay, R17 using bilinear interpolation. So R17 is missing. So R17, in place of R17 we have G17. So it can be easily interpolated. R17 can be given by R12 plus R22 divided by 2, because it is a bilinear interpolation. So we have this R12, we have this R22, and it is a bilinear interpolation. That is very simple. So bilinear is nothing but we do the we see the for this red pixel, we see the neighboring red pixel around G17, that is R12 and R22, and what we will do the average of this, and it is coming 135. So 135 is your correct answer. Okay, so this is regarding bilinear interpolation. So bilinear interpolation is very easy, but whenever you are talking about this arbh, it is actually a bit tricky. Okay, but again it is easy, not so tricky. And LCEC is also easy. LCEC you have to just find the delta H and delta V. According to the delta H and delta V, you can you can interpolate either in horizontal direction or the vertical direction. Whatever value is smaller, according to that you can interpolate either in horizontal direction or vertical direction. Okay, so this is regarding today's class. Any doubt regarding any questions? So these are the codes, here. Okay, so the codes here, so you can see the 4 color codes that I have given you. So you can open one codes and you can see. Just what you do, just copy the code to your drive. Whenever you will open the code, there is a option somewhere here or here, that copy to drive. Just copy the code to your drive and you just run the code. You can see all the you can run the code. You can either run all, or you can run one cell one by one, and you can see this. So this is the original image, and this image is I think converted to grayscale image. And after grayscale image, we have done this RGB channels. This is your red channel, this is your green channel, and this is your blue channel. Okay, and then this is your CMY channels, and then the CIE chromaticity, CIE XYZ chromaticity diagram has been made from your original image. And this is the CIE lab images. This is CIE lab L, CIE lab A, and CIE lab B. And this is your YIQ, YBCR, and HSB model. So I think this all the HSB model, it has been given for you. So this is HSB hue, this is HSB saturation, and this is HSB value. These are the 3 different components of your HSB model. And then these things are there. So this is an interactive notebook. So what you can see, you can just do the interaction of your row and column, and you will get different color pixel. Okay, so this you can just open this notebook and you can just operate this code. This you can do. And one more, let me show you this color transfer. That is interesting. So this is the thing. So this is your source image, this is your target image, and there it has been the color has been matched from source to target. Okay, so source to target, this color of source has been given to color of target, and this is your resultant image. Okay, so this is the color matching. Okay, so source chromaticity, this is your source chromaticity, and this is your target chromaticity. Okay, this is your source, this is your target, and this is your result chromaticity. Okay, so this resultant is from source to target. Okay, so this is your resultant chromaticity. Okay, so this code also you can see. And this is regarding histogram. This is your source histogram, this is your target histogram, and this is your resultant histogram. You can see as peaks are over here, so in the resultant, these peaks are over here. Okay, so this is regarding histogram. Okay, similarly you can see one code for this chromaticity operation with interactive chart. Again you can this is regarding the saturation desaturation. So you can just open it. Okay, you can just open it, and you can just open it, and this is regarding this original image, and this is the CIE chromaticity. Okay, and then what I have done, I have given you a saturation over here, and you can just operate this. Okay, I think it will not open because I am not running the code, but once you run the code, you can just adjust the saturation, and once you adjust the saturation, you can see in saturation this point will be at the boundary. Okay, and once you do the once you move this bar towards the right side, this point will be more accumulated. Okay, but once you move this saturation to this left side, this point will be more open. Okay, so you can open or more dispersed. Okay, you can try it. Okay, this is very interesting regarding image saturation. And at last we have this image interpolation. So this is also interesting. So you can just see different types of image interpolation. So I think I have done only bilinear interpolation. So let me see it. So this is the thing. So you can see now 3 type of interpolation I have done. So this is the original image, This is your bilinear interpolation, this is your average red blue hues, and this is your Laplacian corrected interpolation. Okay, so these are the 4 different things. So again you can see this chart and you can see the different chromaticity values. Okay, and this is regarding histogram. So this also you can check. Okay, so this is the thing. So by this I am ending the session for today. I hope the session is helpful to you, and we will meet on the next Friday. Okay.